Welcome to Book Club The Yappening, a podcast where we discuss every and all things we've read and some of us haven't read, in a safe place where we can yap about life in general. In the description, you'll find links to our Fable, Instagram, and Discord accounts. Please follow for more yapping in different styles. For a warning, we will 100% be spoiling this book, so please pause, go read, and come back to yap. Read the trigger warnings before continuing on. Okay. Welcome back to the Yappening. It is me. It's my turn. Prepare, buckle up. I have a slightly longer script than normal that I actually brought with me. Side note, one, I'm sorry, my sinuses suddenly decided that they wanted to be present and known today, and fine, whatever. So I'm like, my nose is currently stuffed to the max. And then I am a fidgeting queen the last week, so I am sorry if I start rocking, and it's
rocking and a rolling.
Yeah, so we're trying our best here.
Yes.
Also, I think, I don't know what's going to come out first, but obviously we're having fun. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. Yes, this will be the second Pride episode, just because I didn't want mine back to back because they're a little...
Yeah, love Pride.
A little risky. But yeah, Happy Pride, everybody.
Pride.
Yeah. Alphabet.
Hello.
Rise up.
Pride to be Pride. Rise up. We're doing one of my favorite gay book series ever, and I'm having such a great time rereading the books. It's just a wonderful moment. Just to follow up, this is the second book to the Cut and Run series by Abigail Roux. The first one, just recap, Zane, Garrett, Ty Grady, new partners, working tri-state murder case. Zane has obviously addiction issues, which he has worked through towards the end of the book. And then Ty is in Marine, and he is unhinged and lovely. Love him.
Yes.
And so this book takes place right after that, as they're on leave from they're on, like, I would say, like, they were given leave because the mental stress, because Ty was bricked and almost murdered, and Zane had killed the murderer, or the serial killer that they were after.
Bricked inside a wall.
Yes.
Imitating the casket?
Yes. Cast of Amontillado, or...
Yeah, Cask of Amontillado, yeah.
So very Edgar
There we
Allan
go.
Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you say he was bricked.
He was bricked up on a Sunday morning.
Let's go.
I mean, when is Ty not bricked up?
Wow.
Get that brick.
Get that brick.
That's our celebrity name.
Yeah.
So yeah, the second book is called Sticks and Stones. And it's wonderful. So we're gonna
Do they get broken bones?
Stay tuned and find out.
Two truths and a lie.
There might be a tooth involved. We'll
Whoa.
see. Yeah.
2 tooths and a lie.
Two truths and a lie.
You know what? How I asked you if it was kung fu or judo, and you confirmed it was wrong. I'm like, it was 2 truths and 1 lie. We had like a little thing. We were quoting something, and then I realized I was like, I didn't say the right thing.
There was something you did in one video where you're like, you know your kung fu well, and I'm like, I love that video. Actually,
yes, but it was judo. He says, you know your judo well, but Nick had said 2 lines from that video, and then I said kung fu, and then I was like, 2 truths and a lie. At it again. All right, sorry.
I know kung fu well.
Side note for this book, it does come up a lot, like the sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never, like, hurt you. One thing that she puts at the beginning of the book, which I really like, and I don't know if it's a quote from somebody else or if it is her own, like, words, but it's like, sticks and stones may build your homes, but words will lift your spirits.
Oh, I
really like that, because though you can say that words do be shaping people.
That's true.
Okay, let's jump.
That's very, live, laugh, love.
Yeah, very live and laugh, love, but yeah.
But like in a little bit
more meaningful way for me.
Yeah, for me it means a little something more.
It means a lot more, yeah. I had to reread that so many times because I kept wanting to say broken bones, but it was like build your homes. I'm like, oh, it's sweet. Okay. Yeah. All right, you guys ready for a scripted version of me for, like, I mean, I scripted the beginning.
Yeah.
But, you know.
That's okay.
All right. I'm almost nervous.
She finally did it, guys.
She finally did it. I mean, it's not a full script, but it's a script. So... Ty?
Yapping in different styles.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be on Ty Grady. Ty moves a heavy pool table across a scarred wooden floor. Zane grunts, pushing it along with him. The goal, get to the roof where safety waits. Zane makes a joke about this not being what he meant when he wanted to take a vacation, and Ty merely tells him he was the one who rejected his offer to cut and run to open a black market orchid shop from the prior book. After they get the pool table into position, Ty gets a stool, setting it on top of the pool table. He's wobbling to get his balance. Zane stables him by holding onto it. Zane throws a careful twinkle toes at him. And Ty retorts, "Come up here so I can stand on your head."
Oh.
Ty orders him to get on the stool so he can stand on his shoulders to gain access to the roof. He literally pets Zane's head as he climbs onto the roof.
Adorable.
Does he call him a good boy?
Yeah, basically, so Ty loves to pet Zane's head for some reason. I always get good boy energy. Like, could you listen?
I love that.
They both are wearing heavy armor, and like they're like, think of like the mask, the gloves, like the vest, like as you would when you're like a federal agent. Right now Zane is uneasy, and Ty worries that Zane might bite his head off for just offering to help Zane up to the roof, because Zane's been kind of moody lately since they've been given leave. Nevertheless, he gets Zane up on the roof without an argument, which relieves Ty. Zane was dealing with mood swings since the tri-state serial killer case from the first book. Since then, they have been doing odd jobs like this instead of working at the bureau because of the mental aftermath of the tri-state case. They hear rattling at the door in the pub they just escaped, and Ty informs Zane that they are using battering ram to get inside and they have to hurry. Zane clears the roof. Ty urges him to move quickly. Zane grabs his gun and mask and runs for the edge of the building, leaping to the next. They have several buildings between them and their target. Zane had the whole town memorized the night before they were deployed here today. They hurried between the rooftops. Ty grumbles that he hates this fucking town. He could hear the patrols shouting and communicating with each other down below. They didn't have the same kind of gear that him and Zane had to communicate with their comrades. So like they have like the ear thing, you would think, like just to be able to communicate. They hit a fire escape. That's their only way down. They were stuck on the roof with truly no other option than the fire escape. They both had planned for the option, like the opportunity, like the scenario. They planned for the scenario of everything going to hell. There are 3 two-man teams in town today that they were deployed with, each of them equipped with enough charges to blow one of 3 targets in radio receivers linked to each set. Bravo team has achieved their objective, blowing up the television station that doubled as a town's communication center, but they moved too early and announced their presence before Ty and Zane could reach their objective. Bravo team had done their job, but the 2 men didn't survive long enough to celebrate. Alpha team had managed to set its charges at the supply store at the end of the street, but the men were attacked before they could blow them. Stop! I know what you're going for, but this is a heightened scenario, ma'am.
Well, it's also,
a gay book,
a blowy book.
Yeah, blowy book. There are blows.
They be blowing.
They were running and gunning their way through the streets now. The radio receivers were out of reach, so Ty and Zane can't communicate with them any longer. It was just Ty and Zane now to get the mission done. 1 target out of 3 was unacceptable. 2 targets was still a failure, and it was better than nothing. Ty wanted all 3, so even if he had to do the last 2 himself. They can't afford to be captured or killed before they lay their charges. They slam their feet on the pavement as they run to their target. They ran to the sorry, so I don't do scripts.
Well, that's fine. No one's asking you to do a script.
I know, I wanted to though, because I'm like, I have to portray this so well. They did run to their targeted area, and they hear stop federal agents. So federal agents are swarming on them.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like, what the fuck are they doing? Because they're federal agents.
Yeah.
Ty and Zane are faced with a man in a protective mask that's pointing a gun at them. Ty turns quick without hesitation, fires at the federal agents 2 shots, and the agent is down on the ground. Zane and Ty continue fire at other agents on their tail. This is life or death for Ty. Zane yanks his helmet off. His hair much longer than it was before. It's like down to his collar. He shuts all of his safety gear, heads to the target with Ty. The munitions dump they needed to get to was surrounded by agents. in the general store. There was a general store that they were running through before they, I think, hit the pub, and Ty took a can of hairspray, and Zane's like, I don't fucking know why he took that, but in Ty's head, he's like hoping that if he throws it, they'll think it's a flash grenade or a grenade in general, and that they'll duck. And
Oh no, a hairnet grenade.
right?
Not hairnet. What's the Aquanet? An Aquanet grenade.
Aquanet grenade. Suddenly they hear pops over the receivers in their ear, and they can hear Alpha Team screaming, so they're down. They get to the target, and Ty is humming to the battle hymn of the Republic as he shoves charges in his pocket from the munitions dump. And Zane comments, "What are they teaching these idiots?" and that the Bureau is going to shit. Ty tells him to make sure he shoots next time instead of tackling, given an early scuffle. And Zane says Ty has a morbid sense of humor. Ty just wants to go blow shit up currently. That's all he wants to do. So he's like, we gotta go. They need to get close to the receiver to blow Alpha's charges that they laid. As they get close, they are surrounded at gunpoint by federal agents. Ty thinks quick. The only thing that matters to him is the objective. As Zane counts down with him to make a break for it, Ty suddenly wraps his arm around Zane's neck, yanking him up to use him as a human shield.
Whoa.
Zane tries to get out of his grasp with no luck, and Ty taunts, "I thought you liked it when I did this, darling," like whispering in his ear. A dozen of agents train their guns on them, not sure what to do with the new hostage situation. Once Ty got close, he pushed a button on the receiver, blowing the objective sky high in the distance. Shots go off, Zane taking all of them, and hits the ground. Ty is already long gone undercover. A series of piercing whistles sound from one of the rooftops. Agents filter out from their locations littered in red and blue paint. Zane gets up. The fake terrorist groups were covered in blue paint. Zane covered in the worst of it from being a human body shield for Ty, which he is pissed about because it makes him feel a type of way, which is justifiable. Because in his head, he's like, I can't believe would he do this to me in real life? No, surely he wouldn't do this to me in real life. Like, Ty wouldn't do this to his partner. So Zane's like going through that mental roller coaster. So he's pissed about it, which is justifiable. But this is honestly the happiest he has seen Ty since they got put on leave.
Yeah.
Since the whole thing. They've been on leave in about 6 weeks, I think. They were officially partners for 6 weeks. So they weren't actually partnered up. They were just kind of test partners for the whole first book. And at the end of the first book, they got officially partnered. So they all gather into the middle to talk. Ty exclaims, actually no, Zane says, Zane looks at Ty, he's like, "Bastard, you cut and run." And Ty replies, "Every man for himself, partner." And last man, he's like, "I'm the last man standing." And he's like showboating, so he's like spreading his arm like, "Last man standing." And so he's very triumphant, making a show of it. And Zane says he can change that immediately. The trainees get scolded for failing the objective, and also pissed that the trainees are pissed that they didn't realize they were up against trained agents. Their instructors softened the blow by introducing the agents that they were against and why it was hard to beat them. And they say that special agent, they're like, "This year's special agent Ty Grady, who was raised by wolves," and then they're like, "And this very dead Zane Garrett, who is apparently raised by Kevlar." And I'm like, that's so funny. The trainees joke about using your partner as a human shield, and the instructors say to never estimate your opponent's will to live in their mental state. And so I say Ty and Zane have officially been partnered for 6 weeks, but Zane can't pass his psych evals. Richard Burns, the FBI director, realizes his mistake in assigning Zane to go undercover back to Miami after the tri-murder case, instead of mentally recovering from the whole ordeal and having to witness Ty almost die at the hands of a serial killer he shot dead. Ty isn't handling the desk work well, though. Kind of like me, Ty is a fidgeter. Like, that's what I'm like, when I was reading this, I'm like, Ty's rocking back and forth in this scene. I'm like, oh my god, are you me?
Yes.
And the whole office wants to kill Tyler at this point. Like, they're just fucking done with his, shit. After Zane fails his current set of evals, after the whole exercise that they just did, that they got enlisted to do, Burns tells him to take a 3-week vacation to get his head on straight, and if he can't, it's very heavily implied that he's going to be transferred back to desk work or given an early retirement, which is not ideal for him or Ty.
Right.
Burn then orders Ty to take a 2-week vacation while Zane gets his shit in order, but Ty is also barely passing his evals, but he's passing. Richard orders him to go back to Virginia to see his parents. He doesn't want to go back and protests heavily, but it's an order. And you find out that Ty's father is Earl Grady's, his father's closest friend.
Earl Grady?
Earl Grady, yeah, we're going to get
Does
into
he
girl.
like a lot of tea?
I don't know, actually. I think he likes coffee. But I know the joke you're making, though. In regards to Zane, Ty notices Zane is having trouble and doesn't know how to help him. Like, while they were in D.C., he would visit Zane frequently, traveling from his row house in Baltimore, but the visits have been less because you find out that with the emotional outbursts Zane has been having, Ty doesn't know how to handle it. So Ty is very much like, I'm not helping you by being here, so I'm going to start pulling away because I don't know what to do and I feel like I'm making it worse.
Right.
Type thing. It feels like he's doing more harm than good for Zane's mental state, where Zane's having the mixture of, why is Ty pulling away? Instead of fucking talking to each other because they are both, like, emotionally constipated, that Zane's just like, I did something to fuck it up. Like, it's just, I guess it's run its course. Ty's bored with me type thing, which is also not settling heavily with it, like, good with him.
Call him a bad boy. See how he reacts.
Right.
Oh. Calm him down.
After they are ordered on vacation between the elevator and the parking lot, Ty convinced Zane to come back to West Virginia with him. Even though he is hesitant about asking him, he tells Zane he is using him essentially as a human shield between him and his family. Zane feels a bit warmer inside about the invite and drives off on his Valkyrie, which Ty still hates and won't get on it with him. They end up going shopping together because Ty hints that he'll need hiking gear. When the said trip begins, Ty loads up Zane in his Bronco, like an older Bronco, I forgot the year, and he sails off to West Virginia with him, and that's their whole, like, it's like a choir, it's like a long drive, so Zane's just noticing the greenery, and that's what they're having, like, side thoughts of Ty doesn't know how to help Zane, and, like, Ty notices Zane's, like, one of his biggest problems, he's not sleeping. So, obviously, if you've never slept for days before, like, you get manic and, like, touchy, and, like, you just, it's a mental
also,
trip.
Yeah, hallucinating and stuff.
Also, Zane is very much from Texas. That's where he was born and raised. So he isn't used to all of the forest and greenery and the altitude either. Zane makes a joke about Ty playing the banjo. And Ty very seriously asks if Burns told him because, yes, in fact, he can play the banjo.
Love that.
And it mortifies him as Zane is cracking up.
I'm a hoe for a banjo,
right?
Honestly.
He can actually he could play the banjo, the fiddle, and the guitar.
Ugh.
And
I was going to make a joke about a fiddle, but...
Are you a hoe for a fiddle?
No.
For a fiddle?
I know. You don't have the same country roots.
Yeah. Zane is cracking up because he was just trying to make a Deliverance joke.
Oh.
Ty jokes that Deliverance took place in Georgia, and in West Virginia they kissed their cousins.
I didn't know that Deliverance was in Georgia. I would definitely...
I don't even know what Deliverance is, so...
Are you familiar with the movie Wrong Turn?
Nope.
Okay. It's basically one of those, like, people lost, mountain men bad. But I would... Just based on what I know of it, I would certainly think it was more Appalachia than, like, Deep South, but...
Yeah, because they're near the Appalachian Mountains, I feel like, in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Is where they kind of, like, hike up. So, yeah. And yes, you find out that Ty's whole family can play the banjo. They drive up a winding dirt road up into the heart of the mountain, what seems like. The Grady house is a classic old farmhouse, but well kept with a stone foundation. White siding, dormer windows on the second story, bright red shutters, and a matching tin roof, a porch wrapped around the entire front, and the side of the house complete with an array of old rocking chairs and oversized stairs leading up the front doors. The outside buildings were in worse shape, and the paint was peeling slightly on the clapboard frames, and some of them were tilted. Several of them were nothing but cedar beams and tin, and a few more sturdier cinder block buildings that existed on the property. In the driveway, there's a Ford F-150, a Chevy Blazer, and an old Ford Ranger, and a brand new black Lexus coupe. Ty parks his Bronco next to the Lexus. A man comes out of the house, far too young to be Ty's father, but still striking a resemblance to Ty. He was taller and thinner than Ty, and carried a pronounced limp as he descended the stairs. Ty gets out of the car. Zane gets out too, but gives them their space, so he just sticks back by the car. And Ty and his brother embrace. Mind you, Zane had no clue Ty even had a brother until this very moment.
Well, they probably don't talk much, right?
They talk. No,
They're too busy doing a.
They're too busy fucking.
They're too busy doing a sex.
Too busy doing
Too busy
the
talking
sex.
dirty, and you
Huh?
don't bring. You're too busy talking dirty, and you don't bring your brother up when you're talking
Yeah.
dirty.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Ty tells him to come closer to introduce them. Deacon Grady, also known as Deuce, which I will be referring to him as a Deuce, for this entire thing, is a license. What?
And
Don't make fun of my Deuce, man. I'll throw you down the stairs. I love Deuce Grady.
He makes fun of himself.
Hmm?
He makes fun of himself.
Oh, he does, yeah. They all hate their names. Honestly, they all hate their names. Deacon doesn't like his name.
Okay, we're on the same page. All right, let's
way
go.
better than
Wait till you find out Tyler's actual name.
Nope.
Because it's B. Tyler Grady.
B.
B. Tyler Grady. That's what Zane thinks that too. He's like, yeah, he doesn't ever, like, he has a B in front of his name, like Ty, so Ty
Oh.
must be his middle name.
I thought you meant that his first name is B, like B-E-A.
No. He has a first name, it's just hyphen because he hates his first name.
Got it.
Beulah.
Like my mom.
What's her first? Isn't it
Tarina's her first name,
Yeah.
yeah, but everybody calls her Sue. Except,
Oh, yeah, me.
yeah, that's her, like, professional. Tarina is her professional name, but, like,
oh, shit. I
all
should
of my
change that
friends
now. I have
always
a
call her Tarina.
problem doing that, and I need to start
no,
respecting
it's
people's
fine.
names.
It's totally fine.
Maybe Suosaurus.
Suosaurus.
Right.
Oh, that's cute.
And, like, her whole family calls her Susie, so, like,
That's cute.
she just has multiple names, like
Mhm.
me. I'm Brittney for the most part, but my family always calls me Brits.
Mhm.
So, and you, which I love.
Yeah. Ty tells Zane to come closer so that he can introduce him. Deuce is a licensed psychiatrist and didn't take the marine route like Ty had because of the limp he has, but more on that later because that will get discussed. Deuce already knows that Zane is Zane Garrett, his brother's partner. Ty and Deuce talk about Deuce's new Lexus, and for the youngest out there, Deuce is very excited it has Bluetooth. Yeah.
I love a Bluetooth.
And even then, Ty still hates the car, and he loves his old Bronco, which is, like, heavily, like, just he loves that fucking Bronco.
Bluetooth's and a lie.
Bluetooth and a lot. They know that it's already 20 degrees cooler on the mountains than it was in DC. Zane had expected it, but not by that much. Because I think it's, like, fall moving into winter right now. They often joke about there shouldn't be snakes around, and Zane notes that, like, in Texas there are always snakes.
Mhm.
And then, but here they only come out when it's warmer. Ty welcomes Zane to West Virginia and invites him inside the house, opening the screen door for him, where breakfast foods like bacon waft through the air. In the kitchen, where his mother, Mara Grady, holds domain and is making them a mean meal.
Nice.
Like a mean meal.
Fixing them a snack.
Mm-hmm. We love Mara Grady in this household. We stand Mara Grady. We will protect Mara Grady at all costs.
Y'all hungry?
Yeah, basically. Ty gives
Grandma's here.
right? Ty gives her a kiss and she doesn't let go of the spatula, which she thwacks him with later. Mara greets Zane warmly with a hug like he is her own already, and he doesn't know what to do and half hugs her back, just in shock at the very warm welcome. Mara Grady then turns onto Ty, thwacks him on the head with the spatula, getting grease in his hair, scolding him for not visiting months ago.
Did she use the grease to, like, style it?
He actually, like, ruffles his hair, and he's like, you got grease in my hair, and she's like, well, you fucking deserved it, basically.
My grandma used to thwack people with lunch meat. One time she, like, slapped my dad in the face with a piece of bologna.
What the hell?
She was making everybody lunch and he was pissing her off, so she just turned around and slapped him with bologna.
Honestly, so fair. Stand that.
Also, like, anytime she would come up, she would just walk up to you, like, open your mouth, like, with food in it, but then she would smear the food all over your face before putting it in your mouth. So, like, sometimes it would be, like, a piece of, like, meat that's a little bit oily, and she just would rub it.
What
like,
the
"Don't just put it in my
fuck?
mouth." Like, what are you doing?
That's not cute.
I know.
I don't know if it's a sensory thing or a having facial hair thing. I throw hands.
It's both.
She'd throw him right back, dude.
Yeah, she's a tall woman.
She
I
sure
think I could take her.
I mean, when you knew her, but when she was at her
Oh, I did a Brittney.
I meant right now.
prime feral. See, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Everyone do the Brittney. Scroll away.
Do, 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 do.
Scroll too far.
Right.
Beatbox, go.
Okay, we're good.
Oh.
After all of this, scolding for not visiting months ago. After all of this, Ty wonders where his dad, Earl Grady, is. From the first book, we know his dad tends to the old mines in their town.
Goodbye, Earl.
Goodbye, Earl.
Goodbye, Earl.
And Mara explains he's out checking them out because there are reports that kids are messing around them.
Damn kids.
Right? Then briefly Ty does ask where their grandpa is, and then also Chester Grady is like the joy in my heart. So he's so fucking unhinged. So then comes in Chester Grady, Ty's grandpa, who is slightly senile and his eyesight is getting worse.
Damn
Because they
kids.
comment. Yeah, no, literally damn those kids, but it gets even crazier. And I do say this man is a Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine, and obviously Ty's father is also a Marine. And I do put in there, thank you to the military people out there, like vets, like people who have passed, and like current like military people, because even if we get angry with our country sometimes, they still all fucking protect us. So thank you so much for your service. Just like sliding that in there.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, because it's such a like a military heavy like book because of Ty. But yeah, so Ty followed the tradition as a recon Marine, so he's very like Ty's lethal.
Mm-hmm.
They respect the Grady family respects military life greatly, as they should. And also Chester Grady, he has a shovel. He sleeps with this shovel. He walks with this shovel. He goes everywhere with this shovel.
Emotional support shovel.
Emotional support shovel. Because I forget which war he was in, but they had shovels a lot to dig trenches and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's just a comfort. It's a comfort item for him. But he also sharpens the tip of it.
Okay, hell yeah.
And Ty has
Keep calm and carry a big shovel.
keep calling.
Shut the fuck up, because I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to interrupt her to say that.
Oh, I will.
That's great.
That's crazy. Well, we
They're
were also
married.
just talking about Teddy Roosevelt. We do that all the time, one brain. But we were just talking about Teddy Roosevelt yesterday.
I was also going to say he was in the Great Emu War, but I'm pretty sure that was in like the 1800s, which could be possible, I guess.
No.
Oh, that guy?
She doesn't know what war he
He
was
was in
in.
Australia, though, wasn't it?
She doesn't know what war he's in, and
Yeah, I didn't write it down. They do mention it. I feel like Nam got mentioned. I feel like another war got mentioned too.
the Great Emu War sounds
I would-
ridiculous, so that's why I said it.
Perhaps think, just depending on his age, I would maybe think World War II. I know Vietnam, they would like dig foxholes and stuff, though, I think.
Yeah, I think that might be a thing, because they also talk about, I feel like later they talk about how they like there was something with like cans, like soda cans, and they would plant strings on them and tie them to explosives, so that because they've noticed Americans like to kick cans while they were
Okay.
overseas.
That
So
seems very like Viet Cong-y, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just in my brain, someone who was like fighting a war in the 70s wouldn't be like old and senile.
he's not really senile yet,
Okay.
though, but they joke about it so much that I had to throw it in
Just
there.
because Vietnam would have been like during my dad's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like these guys are kind of like in the race for like Iraq War type thing.
Yeah.
His dad was probably
yeah, that's
like
more so Thai
Vietnam.
to like the whole Iraq war, because Thai speaks Farsi and he was over seas.
Yeah, I guess in my mind I would just think that Vietnam would be more so like his dad's era.
Which I think so, because when his dad, I think, is the one who explains the cans.
Okay.
So yeah, somewhere around there, which I might get to, because I'm gonna switch over to my Nook when I get to the end, which I'm almost at the end of my
Mhm.
script.
So no emus.
No emus.
But that was Australia, was it not?
I would have said
Yes.
Okay, I'm just like, what is with you in the emu war?
Because it sounds
Fun.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know. Lady, also, if you like podcasts and you're curious about the emu war, Ladies and Tangents did an episode on it, and it's so fucking unhinged.
That's the only reason I know about it.
I'm gonna have to
Really?
listen to
No
it
one else
now.
talks about it.
just a secret war. Secret
Secret
emus.
war.
Marvel Secret Emu Wars.
The Infinity Emu.
Oh dear God. How can they wear the gauntlet? They don't have hands.
They don't have hands.
Put it on their foot.
Starts taking a run. Thump clank, thump clank, thump clank.
Oh my
Kicking
god.
cans with their emu foots.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry. All right, we're getting
Oh
too
my god.
crazy.
Okay, well, we're moving on.
We're doing too much.
I'm turning this call around.
She's like, absolutely not.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read the paragraph out. So also Chester Grady with his shovel. The boys comment on sitting Chester accidentally sometime. I was clearly writing this really tired. So Chester, so like they would sneak in when they were younger, and Chester would hit them with the shovel, or if you do something to me, he'll hit you with the shovel. Like Ty snuck in one night late and got slammed with the shovel and broke his nose. So they're afraid of the shovel.
Well, I would be too.
They should be afraid of CPS.
Oh my god, they don't do that in the Grady household.
Well,
There used to be 8 Grady's.
There used to be 8 until Grandpa got him with the shovel.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
2 days made.
You think you're tired of this?
Whack.
Now you're forever tired.
That's why it's funny because like that's where the whole thing is. When Zane meets Chester, he's like they start talking about snakes because the amount of hoses Mara has lost to this man's shovel, with him thinking it's a snake. Literally, the second day they're there, like they're like, "Hey, Ma, is his eyesight getting worse? He's beating your hose again." And then Mara goes out to like. They go out to literally fight the shovel out of his hands, and then like they come in pretty fucking messed up. So Chester don't fucking play around. I love Chester.
Grandpa's at it again with the hose.
Mm-hmm.
He loves his hose. Oh,
Yeah.
No, sorry, wrong grandpa.
Boats and hose.
Yeah. So they start talking about snakes, and that's where Zane's like, yeah, there's snakes all the time in Texas, and they're like rattlers or whatever. And then they talk about the poisonous snakes up the mountain, and Chester's like, does this look like fucking Texas, boy?
Yo.
Type shit. So he's a sassy grandpa. So continuing on, Zane does notice Ty's discomfort about the mines because in the first book Ty mentioned that his fear was working and dying in those mines, which is also a persuasion for him to join military life. Before they get started on breakfast, Earl does come back to say grace so they can eat and the probing begins. This is where Garrett finds out that Richard Burns and their boss is close friends with Ty's father, Earl. Earl makes a comment about Richard telling him that Ty and Zane had some times together already on the job, and Zane quips about them reading about it more than experience it because they're on desk work. And Earl, he distastefully and disappointed, it's like this father disappointment that you get, like where it's like you're on desk work, like what is this about type shit.
Yeah.
And Ty being Ty, like quips back that he's like, I don't read. He's just like, I don't read. So, I don't read, as a joke type thing. And that's when, like, Jason and Ty are both quick-witted with comments, and I love that about them. They're very quippy back. Like, I think you would like reading these, because you talk often about how you like the banter and how it stops when they fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
Zane, Garrett, and Ty,
Love that.
they banter like no fucking other, and it doesn't stop. And I love that. Also, this is the first time Zane is really seeing Ty snap to attention. All yes sirs, yes ma'ams, no arguing, doing what he is told. Not fighting and smart mouth, not the normal fighting and smart mouth man that like Zane has come to know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very much like, you could tell his dad raised them with respect. Not, you can tell like later he comments, it's not abusive respect, it is just respect.
Yeah.
So that is what he has instilled in his sons.
Through abuse.
What'd you say?
Through abuse?
Her views?
Through abuse?
No, not through abuse. No,
Oh
there
my
is.
God.
They do
Oh,
comment.
just grandpa. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is no their dad. So Earl, you can tell Earl has trained his boys to be so respectful, and but it wasn't through like slapping. It's just through hard work and stuff.
See, that's where you lost me.
Yeah, yeah, they don't know. It's not
Because
aggressive abuse.
this seems like a we hug through punching. Like that's
They kind of do, yeah. They kind of like hug through, like, well, him and Ty and Deuce.
okay.
kinda.
Brothers is like a
Yeah,
one
they're-
thing, but
But the
a father.
dad.
Yeah,
Sorry, no. Zane wonders like if it is abusive throughout
that's
the book.
I just
Mhm.
by it being a military family, I assumed, and
Oh.
also the grandfather clearly, but
You're looking at it from a military perspective, and I'm looking at it from like a southerner perspective. And I'm just like, it's not really abuse. It was like one of those things. Like I would tell people stories about my grandma, and they're like, "Wow, she sounds really abusive," and it's like literally nobody in my family views it that way.
No,
Like, she would like take out the fucking screen door of throwing shoes at my uncle. Like
Yeah, so
Yeah.
think of Brittney's
Okay.
way.
I get like there's like tough love that isn't like abusive. It's just harsh. You're trying to instill some kind of lesson.
Yeah.
But then when you have an abusive grandfather, usually that stuff gets passed down.
Right. No, like my grandma would definitely like take a swing at people, but a lot of times it was like intentionally antagonizing her to get her to that point. So we're just like a bunch of menaces basically. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily view it as.
As I say, make sure you're talking into the mic.
Don't tell me what to do.
I figured that would have gone better than don't make my job harder.
Oh my god.
No.
So yeah, so just lay it out now. Earl Grady does not physically hit his sons. Did he get a little harsh sometimes? Yes, which we will come to find out. But
That happens with parenting.
yeah, so he's instilled a lot of respect into his sons.
Through mental torture, got it.
Basically. Side note with all of this is that Zane finds out that Deuce is a psychiatrist at this point, and Ty was hoping Zane would talk to him while he was there. Zane is a tiny bit pissy about it because he really doesn't want to talk to a shrink. And they call him a shrink, and Deuce is like, we hate being called shrinks. But then later Deuce is like, well, I'm a shrink, And Zane's like, well, you hate that word. He's like, it's accurate sometimes. And so he's pissy about it, and he does ask Ty if that's the only reason why he wanted him to come there, and Ty confirms that he wanted Zane to be there with him just because he wanted him there. Just his brother was a plus, and wouldn't he rather talk to his brother than like a psychiatrist shrink, which is also like a bureau shrink. We also find out that Deuce is the only one who knows that Zane and Ty are fucking each other on the side.
Okay.
Because it's his brother, and Ty and Deuce have always been close and honest with each other, like from childhood to early. They're so close, like by the hip.
Is it a matter if he's not out, or is it just a secret relationship?
I will say, because they're not dating. Zane and Ty are not officially dating. They're just fucking, and that's how they both see it, kind of.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Ty is out, and I will get into it a little bit later, with some of the comments, because I'm going to try to go in order with how they, like, bring up these things.
Okay.
But, they just don't talk to people about it, and it's kind of, like, not good to get out. I mean, if you think about it, Earl Grady is Richard Burns' best friend.
Right.
What happens if Earl is pissed off and...
Yeah, I
guess
I was wondering if it was a secret because... whatever, or if it was like a secret because it's man on man type of thing.
Yeah, I will say, I will bring this up now because Deuce comments on it later that Ty has never, and Ty does mention this too, he's never loved somebody. He's never been in love. He's never brought anyone home. So Zane is the first person he has brought home. And if it's not his recon buddies or like an occasional friend, he's never brought somebody home to meet the family. So Deuce because throughout this book, Deuce is doing what a psychiatrist does, and he's analyzing every moment. And so you get some of Deuce's thought processes, and that's like, well, Ty's never brought anyone home. Like, I've never seen Ty be so calm with somebody before.
Right.
Type thing. And which he does notice that. He notices that a lot with Ty and Zane, how, like, Zane can, like, just talk to him and, like, calm him down. And, like, there are moments where Ty's having, like, flashbacks, like, from the Marine days. And Deuce is like, I would not even go near him with a 12-foot pole. And Zane's, like, rubbing his back.
Okay.
Type thing. So he's, like, making mental note of all of this. So that's another thing that comes into play, and why, like, he's not going to tell his family, but also it is heavily implied that Earl Grady might not take it so kindly.
Yeah, that's
the unsure one.
The crux of where I was going with that.
And you find out later that Ty the two people in his life that he wants to make most proud of him are Richard Burns and his father.
Okay.
Which is why he's so not inclined to say no to them. Continuing on, there is a slight argument with his mom about Ty having to take the very uncomfortable couch because Queen Mara refuses to let a guest sleep on the floor or on that couch, so Zane gets Ty's room. They settle on Ty and Zane sharing the room, even though the bed can barely fit one person, and maybe two if they could really make it work. And they definitely recall those hotel days when they got lost in one another. So they know how to
one another.
In one another, literally.
Took a wrong turn down that hall.
In Ty's room.
Hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like butt hall.
Butt hall, yeah.
As one does.
In Ty's room, he sees pictures of Ty, very old ones, up until his departure to, like, military. He also sees Deuce and Ty in overalls with a motorcycle behind them, all fixed up, and he can't understand why he doesn't want to ride on his motorcycle, even though he basically looks like he has restored one himself with Deuce. When settling for bed, Ty and Zane have a tender moment trying to share the bed together. They get very sexy with the squeaky bed, trying to keep it quiet in the middle of the night, and Ty rolls them to the floor so Zane can take him to Pound Town. Also, they don't want to squeak because they're so afraid of Chester's shovel. So
he just breaks in with a shovel.
Yeah.
Separate you two.
Yes. At this point, we know they're switch hitters, and they both take turns topping one another. But Ty takes the bottoming this round because apparently he's quieter than Zane when they're railing each other.
Okay.
Spent and satisfied, Zane has a decent sleep next to him because Zane only has peaceful moments of sleep when Ty is beside him at night, and he just comment on that. It's like he feels like that's the only time he could really just relax is when Ty's next to him, which is why he was having a harder time when Ty was pulling away.
Okay.
So next day over, they start getting ready for this hike they're about to take up on the mountain. They mention how cold it is, and how colder it's been getting at night, and Mara's trying to sway them from taking their camping hike journey. But Earl and them proceed on. Mara drops them off at the beginning and plans to pick them up around probably a week's time, I would assume. I can't remember the exact time frame. So she drops them off at one thing. They have a plan to meet at the end of a trail. It's something they do all of the time as a family, so she's going to pick them up after. They make a joke about the last friend Ty brought on this hike with them. They had to carry him down because, honestly, trail hikers, that's just crazy. I still want to do it one day, but it's a lot, especially in cold temperatures.
Oh yeah.
Zane does say they're not going to be carrying him down the mountain, but he's not used to hiking himself, so they got Zane a ton of hiking gear to go do this. And Zane does comment he works a lot out in the gym and stuff, but it's different. The altitude, it's just different, and is taking a little toll on him, especially since he's sleep deprived, and not mentally well.
Too busy going to Pound Town.
Literally too busy going to Pound Town.
Population 2.
Okay, so that was the end of my notes. I tried so hard. So we're gonna go organically now. So Two Truths and a Lie. I might reference that thing.
That old thing.
So yeah, they get onto the mountain. They're walking the first time because obviously it's that type of thing where you set up your hiking stuff and you go to sleep at night. So it gets cold. They get up there. The fire's pretty warm. They undress. Well, they were having a break or something, and then Earl is talking with Zane because at this point Deuce and his father don't, I would say, approve of Zane being Ty's partner, and because they know how Ty is and what he would do to defend his partner, obviously given Sanchez, who I believe it was Sanchez who passed away, who was Ty's partner before, and that hit him hard, and he hasn't had a partner since until Zane. But Earl's kind of are you military? Zane's no. You can tell Earl looks down on him for not being military and being in the FBI, and then Zane's you don't need to be military to be FBI and be good at your job. And so there's that little tit for tat thing. Earl, and they always comment too that Ty's in his freaking element on these mountains. So he is living his best life. He is probably the best person to have around. Also, a cute side note is that Deuce has a walking stick. It's it has a compass built into it and a rope to hook things on because Deuce has a limp, of course. So Ty had seen it at one of the trade shows, and was I need to get you one. I think he made it for him actually. I can't be fully sure on that, but so Deuce also with a limp can fucking hike these mountains like no other because it's in his blood. And along the path as they're doing their thing, they notice ATV tracks. Old ones, and they're you're not allowed to have an ATV up. You can't even have a bike up here, let alone an ATV. And they're how the hell did they get an ATV up here? And they're you could try really hard if you want to duck through some trees, but they decide they're going to tell the ranger when they get to the outpost to let them know that they see the tracks because they're not allowed up there, and they obviously are very protective of the forest. They get to, like, so it gets really rainy and, like, it's, like, downpouring and cold and, like, storming, and the storm takes down, like, the cell towers, so they have limited access with their cell phones, let alone anything else or radios. They get to safety the night of the storm, and there's somebody else, I guess, like, in these hiking outposts, they're for shelter for anybody who's hiking on the trails, and someone was already there, so they get in. I can't remember if his name was John, but he's there. He's just chilling. They get undressed, start drying stuff off. They argue about who's going to take the bed, and they keep making Ty sleep on the bed or on the floor. And Ty's like pissed about it. He's like, "Come on, when am I going to get a bed, even if they're not even great beds?"
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse's like, "I'm crippled. He's old, and that's your partner."
Yeah.
Type thing. So they're like, "You get the floor," and Ty just like relents, and he's like, "Fucking fine." And
They got perfectly good truck beds
Yeah.
out there.
what?
Truck beds. Like the bed of a truck.
Yeah, but they don't have those. Yeah, 'cause they're on the mountain. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, so they're completely think of like dense trail.
Oh, you said beds, and I thought they were like back.
Oh no, they're like, so they're like, think of like cabin beds in think of like, you know, where we camp. Just one of those random things just in the middle of the forest for anybody to use for shelter when they're hiking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're like safe houses for people to when they're hiking, cuz like think of like, cuz some people go on like cross country hiking trails and they connect. So think of like Appalachian Mountains, like type thing. So they put like shelter,
Like a little hostel, basically.
yeah, like a hostel, like so anybody can use them anytime. They're not reserved. It's for shelter, so you kind of have to just deal with it because of the harsh weather. So there's John, who they don't know. They're gonna talk to him later. That's on one already. So there's only 3 more bunks left. So Deuce, Earl, and Zane get one.
Mm.
And Ty mostly gives Zane a bed because he hasn't been sleeping and it's already cold and he's already feeling bad because it's like, okay, you're not sleeping and now we're taking you on this fucking hike. He's starting to regret it a little bit. But then they start talking to John, and John starts telling him about he's like, have you guys like, because John, he does like a cross country hike. They call him like hiker through or something like that, like hike through. I don't know, they have a term for him. But he's doing his last one because he's retiring, and he's like, I think that's going to be my last long journey, and it's going to be weeks for him.
Where'd John come from? Did I miss that?
He was existing in the cabin when they came in from the storm. So he was already like hunkered up there. He's one of the he was passing through hiking.
Like that's a very plain name for
Yeah.
the series of books.
This group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a plain name. Do you see John once and only once? So John's up there. Oh, and before all of this, the ranger, or not the ranger, but they had heard of reports of missing hikers. So hikers have gone missing, but it's such like an aggressive trail, like a difficult trail that you can just get lost and die in these woods, which is also what makes them dangerous. So if you don't know what you're doing or where you're going, like, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So John's, you know, passing by. He's already there. They start, after they get dry, they start talking to him, learn his name's John. John then starts talking to him, and Ty's like, oh, goddamn, I don't want to fucking talk to somebody, which relatable. But John's like, have you heard about the treasure? And I forget the name of the treasure, but there's a rumor about there being a treasure nearby.
Curly's Gold.
Huh?
Curly's Gold.
Curly's Gold. We'll call it Curly's Gold. But he goes through a whole story about like the treasure getting passed around, and Ty's like, of course, no one found the treasure. This group had it. There was a war. Another group grabbed the treasure. And then it got lost again. Surprised it didn't make it to the town. Of course, treasure. Ty's like, this is ridiculous. I just want to go to bed. But he's, you know, stays quiet. And, yeah, so he just tells them the story about the treasure that was rumored to be buried somewhere nearby. And they're like, okay, yeah, cool, bye. So they part ways, wish John bye the next morning, and they start back up on their trail again. The ranger does meet them at the outpost because after the storm, the ranger was just checking, and they're short-staffed because it's fall, winter. Most people don't trail walk during this time. And he warns them that with the cell towers down, they might want to return. And even, because like when they were going to the cabin, that was their halfway point, that Earl said if they didn't make it by nightfall, they probably should turn back. But they did make it, and he's like, we're only a couple hours out from our thing, so we'll just keep going. But even with the dangers of the missing people and cell towers, Earl's like, we're going to continue. And so they start continuing, and there's a moment where Ty and Deuce realize that, because his dad's taking point, and they realize they're lost. But you can't tell Earl Grady anything without it being an argument, and so they just like, we're not going to bring that up, because
we'll just stay lost.
Yeah, fine. Deuce is like, we're lost, aren't we? And Ty's like, you want to bring that up to Dad? And he's like, nope. So like, we'll just keep going until he decides, you know, to ask for questions.
Customer service workers hate him.
Literally. And so, well, Deuce and Ty have walked a bit from the group. Zane and Earl are talking, and then suddenly Zane sees something like a mouse skitter, and he sees a snake come through, and it coils up around him. He's like, fuck. Because it's a poisonous snake.
Yeah.
And Earl's just kind of like, you just pissed off the snake because it's her dinner. Just don't move. And he's just like, it's just chilling. These boots are not made, like good hiking boots. They're not made to withstand a fucking snake bite.
Yeah.
And so suddenly Earl being fucking Earl, like, he tells Zane to move. The snake lunges. Earl grabs the fucking thing and, like, by the mouth and just tosses it. And he's like, it's usually too cold for them. Wonder why it came all the way down here. And he's like, motherfucker. And then they hear the Earl ends up calling for Ty, and it's kind of alarming. And that's when they, okay, sorry. God damn it. So this is how they find the ATV track. So, Ty comes up running alarmed because, like, it's an alarming sound, and that's when they discover the ATV track. And then, Ty hears about the snake, so he's really worried about Zane being on the mountain. Mm-hmm. So he was like, oh god, what happened to Zane? And he heard about the snake. He's like, boy. He's like, fuck. So they find the ATV track. They keep going. They say they're going to tell Ranger when they get to the next outpost. Coming up to the can moment. So, like I discussed with the cans, they found a Coke can on the ground, and Earl gets kind of pissy about it. He's like, how are they going to litter, like, the forest and stuff? So he picks it up. Ty's having a moment, he just has a bad gut feeling, but then he remembers the can thing, and he had a, like, full body flashback. And as Earl's going to go pick up the can, he's like, Dad, duck, like, he's having a moment. Mm-hmm. And so he goes to he does go tackle his dad down out of a reaction, not expecting anything to really happen, but the can was tripped to a wire, and there was an explosion that happened right near them, which further sends Ty into, like, a defensive, like, marine mentality. Mm-hmm. And he's starting to lose, like, a slight grip, which his dad is realizing, but, they're not going to bring it up. And Deuce realizes it too, that he's not, like, he's becoming slowly mentally unstable because of this. Because after they recover from the explosion, his dad's like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, this is dangerous for people. People are going to get killed. And Ty's like, we need to turn back right now. We don't know how many more traps there are. We need to go tell somebody. We need to go get help. And Earl's like, we're not going. We're going to go take care of this self. We're from military. We got this. You guys are FBI. Why would we turn back and waste more days' time so that other people could get hurt? We're doing this now. And Ty's like, we have minimal ammunition. There's only us. Like, This is dangerous. And then Earl, being, like, on his fucking high horse, calls Ty a coward. And then Ty completely shuts down. He looks dejected because they're on the ground trying to take cover at this point. So they're having this conversation. So Ty kind of buries his, like, head into his arm. And Zane, like, it's pissed. He's like, how the fuck are you gonna call anybody a coward? Anybody. Mm-hmm. Ty Grady's the only person he knows wholeheartedly is that's the last thing he has ever is. It's a coward. And even Deuce is like, can't believe his father said this. But that gets Ty complacent, and Ty's like, all right, we keep going. And doesn't say a word. So they start following these trails. Because they're Ty's good at tracking because of his recon days, and his dad is also good at tracking because you find out that Earl's taken Deuce and Ty up into the mountains a lot and taught him everything he knew about tracking. Mm-hmm. So they're good at this. So they start tracking. Ty notices that, like, the tracking is very easy. He's like, this isn't right. Like, they're not covering their tracks at all. They might be leading us. They might know we're here. Yeah. So he's like, this is not good. Like, really not good. And he keeps saying, like, we should, like, he does mention again that they should go back. Even Zane agrees they should go back. And Earl's like, no, like saying anything he can to be like, no, we're going to keep doing this. I'm not letting people die on my watch here. And they get to a point where the people who set the trap, oh, sorry, we're gonna double back. So the reason why they know there's people is because they were hiding in the underbrush because the first explosion, they saw a person come up. He calls one of them swizzle sticks, you know, and like red cap or something, like red flaps, because it's what they're wearing and stuff. And two of them come up and they're like searching with shotguns. Like, did you hear that explosion? Do you think it was an animal? Like, if it was a person, they're probably long gone by now. So there are people there.
Yeah.
And Ty's like, what the fuck? And so that's when they start tracking them back, and they're like, well, they're not being good at covering their tracks, so they think there's people in the forest. Mm-hmm. So something's not right. And then they find out that haphazardly they strung up grenades in the trees so that when animals skitter, like, they're so loosely like thinged, so they were like, Ty's like, if they're that like poorly set up, they did it in haste, they probably just did it. So as they're walking, suddenly another grenade drops and goes off. Mm-hmm. And so they just end up hiding in the underbrush because, like, okay, they're going to come search for this again. Ties up a little bit more. They're poorly camouflaged because they really don't have any other way to be camouflaged with no resources. So Ty has his eye closed because he doesn't want to give his location away, but they come searching again. And they try to stay still. Because after they leave again, Ty's like, we don't know where the grenades are. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, and that's when Earl finally is like, yeah, we'll turn back. Like, after a couple more. And it's so funny because, like, as the grenades are falling, Ty and Zane are just talking, and it's shit they're saying. They're laughing so hard. And they're trying not to laugh, and Deuce is like, what the fuck is wrong with them? We're in this grenade situation, and they're just laughing. And it's like, what the hell? It's just so funny.
Oh, it was really funny. He just said, it's raining nades. Hallelujah, it's raining nades.
Amen. But, yeah, no, they just are having, like, just jokes in this time. And I wish I had them written down, but it was great. So when Earl finally decides to go back, it's like Ty and him are together because Ty goes over. He's like, what do you think we should do? Earl's like, we're going back. You were right. Because also you find out Earl's in our monologue is he actually feels bad calling Ty a coward. He's like, I did just do it to get him to say yes, but I feel awful as a father for doing that to him because I know he's anything but.
Right.
But he doesn't say that to Ty. He just says sorry for a minute, but it's still, the damage is done. That's where the whole sticks and stones, because Zane thinks sticks and stones like may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Whoever decided that words won't hurt you should go fuck off.
That's so true.
That's what Zane was thinking.
So real.
Because, like, he could just see the turmoil Ty's going through. And so Earl finally decides, okay, we're going to go back. The men come back fully armed, and they surround Deuce and Zane. And they take them as hostages. So there's no fucking way they're leaving now. And Ty's, like, dreading it because it's, like, his brother, his favorite person. And then on their hike up, Deuce started talking to Ty before they got captured. And you find out that Ty is actually in love with Zane. Mm-hmm. And he's never been in love before, and it's terrifying for him. Yeah. And Deuce notices that, and Ty tries to be like, I'm not in love, Deuce, whatever. And Deuce is like, I see you. I see how you are. I know how you are. You don't bring anyone home. Like, I see how you are with him. Mm-hmm. And how he is with you. Yeah. You're in love.
Right.
And Ty's like, fuck, I'm in love. But then he goes to talk to Zane right after, and he's, like, kind of probing him, too. And Zane's like, no, I'm not in love. This is not love. And he means it. He's like, this is not love.
Okay, Megara.
Right? Yeah, no, Zane's like, which I think is so interesting that Ty is the first, out of both of them, Ty is the first one to admit he's in love. This hardcore, joking recon Marine in love.
Just the way you said that name.
Right?
You said it so weird.
I think just because I'm reading Japanese names, trying to...
That one.
Yeah, shorten the second syllable, because...
Yeah, I was like...
I honestly didn't know if it was Megara or Megara.
It's Megara.
Because you're saying, okay, Meg. That just sounds like I'm referencing Family Guy.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh my god, that's funny. Where my brain would go to, like, the shark movie.
Sharknado?
No, Meg, the Meg.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. The names are Social Stick, because he was showing on something that seemed like a social stick, and Red Jacket because he wore a red jacket.
Okay.
And these are two people that they know of for sure that are around. So
What a coincidence. Their names are such.
Yeah, that's how we're referring to him. That's all we know him as. I will do a side note back. There is a note that Earl does make, where Ty's having a moment. He doesn't know what's going on. He can't hear Zane and Ty talking to each other, but he notices them, and then, they're talking. Ty moves over a few steps. Zane follows him, stops him, is talking to him, and he can't hear them talk, but he does recognize something in them. He's like, he can't really put, like, friends, not brothers, but something closer to how him and Mara interact.
Okay.
Which should be the biggest hint right there for Earl Grady, that this is more than what it seems, but whatever. Also, side note from before, I don't know if I finished it, but you do find out Zane's not in love. That he thinks they're just fucking, and he doesn't think that Ty could like him any more than that.
Is it that he's not in love, or does he just think it's not going to be reciprocated?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Bro's in love. I just don't think he doesn't think it's going to be reciprocated, which he knows that. But I also think he's still dealing with the trauma of losing his wife.
That's fair.
So he's afraid to love again.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, he's never going to... Yeah, he's in full denial right now. But, okay, so fast forward. Deuce and Zane get caught by Social Sticks and Red Jacket. And they get taken back through the camp, and they're already discussing how they're going to dispose of them. They search them down, find out Zane's fed. Like, he's a fed. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, we can't kill him here. We don't want the feds swarming this place. Because you find out that they're searching for the fucking treasure. Okay. And they have, like, a whole camp set up. They take him to the leader. The leader's like, tie him up for now. Zane's really, like, bad-mouthy. So he's getting, like, they literally kick the shit out of him.
But with nuts.
So Zane does try to tackle one of them, because, like, he's also going to be protective of Deuce, because Deuce is, like, having a bad time right now because his leg is really hurting him. Mm-hmm. Oh, and again, side note. So many side notes. I can't remember if it was after all this or before, but I'm gonna say it now. Deuce is the reason why Deuce has a limp, because Zane does ask him. He's like, sorry if it's, like, rude to ask, but how did it happen? And you find out that he was going 90 on the motorcycle him and Ty had built together after Ty went to got deployed to military. That he crashed into a tree, got pinned, and broke so many bones, and his leg never fully recovered. And so Ty can never blame somebody else, and that's just who he is. He blames himself. Mm-hmm. So it's his fault that Deuce got hurt. But that's how some people are.
Did something on the motorcycle get stuck?
No, it was Deuce's, like, it was my fault. I was going over 90 when I shouldn't have been when I was a kid, and I crashed into the tree. Yeah,
but if the pedal sticks, breaks his bones.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Or if one of them was stoned.
Oh, my God, that's great.
Cut it.
No, I get it. It's great. So, yeah, no, he gets pinned, and, like, Deuce, like, Ty's always blamed himself for that. And then it's like, oh, that's why he doesn't want to get on my motorcycle. No, he doesn't like my motorcycle. Okay, got it. But that's why Deuce has a limp, because he was being dumb going 90 and hit a tree. And that's also why he didn't end up in the military life, because of his limp. But he's like, I probably wouldn't have survived anyways there, so it was my slight way out, I guess. Not that he was planning. It just happened to be that way. But now he's a fancy psychiatrist that makes money. So, he does talk to Zane quite a bit, before this whole kerfuffle, and he starts talking to Zane and, shrinking him, and figuring out, what, okay.
You've done it before, and I don't know if it's intentional or not. You will say kerfuckle.
I do say kerfuckle a lot, and I don't know where I gotten it from.
It's perfectly usable. I've just never heard it from anyone but you, and I don't know if it's intentional or not.
I don't think it's real.
Okay, so kerfuffle is that is a real word, and I'm like, don't quote me on this, but I'm like 95% sure it's like a Gaelic word that like just means like a mess or something. But I say kerfuffle a lot, but just your twist on it, calling it kerfuckle, is like kind of amazing.
I'm sorry, no,
kerfuffle is absolutely a real word.
I don't even think it's a real word, but you guys know what I mean though when I say it.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely, but. Take back your apology right now, because it is like such a perfect enhancer.
Yes.
I'm going to continue to say it because that's all I know.
You should say it.
Please do. it made me smile. It made her smile.
Okay,
Then I
that's
smiled,
what's
and
happening.
I could not hold it in.
No, but
Okay,
I'm sure
okay.
it is like really uncomfy. You're talking, looking at me, and all of a sudden I look at him
I think
and
you guys
smirk.
have something to say, so I was like, what you guys can say it.
We're just having a mental conversation.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. Yeah, kerfuffle. They have a little kerfuffle. But yeah. So Deuce has been talking to Zane and helping him feel a little bit lighter because he kind of compares Zane to like Velcro and like how things stick to him, and he's like, you just need to unstick them slowly at a time. So Zane's feeling like slightly a little better about things, but they get caught. You know, Zane tackles like one of them and tries to wrestle the shotgun from them. Doesn't work. One of the guys pistol whips Zane with his own pistol, and he goes down. Like he's like fully down, out. Ty and his dad are watching from a distance, and Ty's like really panicking because like obviously the person he loves is right there, and his brother's captured, and his brother's in pain because of his leg. They know there's more people out there, so they start threatening them and threaten to shoot Deuce, and so Earl reveals himself, and they're trying to convince him that like Ty's to some random stranger that was like basically John, but he's like, I don't know where the fuck he is, like you're good now, because Ty's their only hope right now. Ty's having full flashbacks at this point. He's not mentally well. He's freaking out. He's trying to figure out the best way to do this, and when Zane does tackle the person, he doesn't want to kill people in this scenario, so he tried to shoot somebody. It kind of misses, and that's how they know he's there. So he only has like 3 shots left, so he's like, the only way I can do this is if they're kill shots. And so he's trying to find the right moment for it, but they're not buying Earl's story about him being a stranger, so they threaten both of them. So Ty does come out with his hands up and the gun hanging from his finger. And they do get into a scuffle because they're trying to do it. Zane gets whacked again. They take Ty to the side and beat the ever-loving shit out of him. But Ty, being Ty and a recon marine, he makes maybe a couple grunts, but that's it. And then they toss him to the side, and they feel bad, and Zane's like, I can't do anything to help him. I feel so useless. And one of Zane's biggest issues is that he feels like he's a bad partner.
Yeah.
And that he can't protect Ty like Ty needs, and that he knows Ty would do anything for his partners, and he feels like he's letting him down. Because Deuce does ask him if he thinks Ty's a good partner, and he's like, he's the best partner I could ever have. Like, he's the best. And, so they dump Ty back down. Ty's, like, fucked up. But he's like, you hit like a bitch, basically. Because it's Ty, and he can't stop, and he's having full moments. And then they talk about dumping their bodies in the well, and that they'll lead them to the well and, like, kill them there so that they'll be done. Because that way they won't look for them too often, or, like, the mountain will kill them type shit. And Ty is losing his shit. He's like, you do not tell people you're going to kill them before you kill them because it leads to struggles. He's like, you gotta give them hope. And he gets up and he's just yelling at them. He's like, if you're going to fucking kill me, kill me. And they're holding a gun to him, and he presses his chest against it, and he's like, kill me. Like, I'm fucking done with this shit. You guys are idiots.
You want more advice? You gotta pay for it.
Right.
Yeah,
First one's free.
Yeah, Ty's like just fucking done. He's like having a full moment. And and Ty comes with like a rock in his hand, so he like smashes the rock in the guy's face, and it's a whole fucking thing. They end so as Ty's having his outburst, like Zane does get free a little bit, and he gets he's having a scuffle. He ends up getting Ty's gun away from somebody, and he goes to look, and the leader of Swizzle Sticks and like Red Jacket, he has a shotgun. He's ready to pump it into Ty's back, and with I think 2 quick shots, Zane kills him immediately. Like he kills him. He's down. Which is kind of a hint towards at the beginning where he's like, shoot before you tackle.
Yeah.
Ty tells him. So Zane does that. He shoots him. He's no longer tackling. He shoots him. But then Ty's like, oh my god, he killed somebody. Like, Ty's having a moment. It's like, because Ty's killed a bunch of people before. And not that he's wanted to, but he knows what it can do. And he's like, is Zane okay?
Yeah.
You just killed somebody for me. He saved my life, but you just killed somebody for me? And he's like not even flinching. He's not even, and Zane's like, I hate to break it to Ty, the like part of me died a long time ago, and I don't even feel bad.
Yeah.
Because he was going to kill Ty, and he wasn't going to let that happen.
And so they get free. They tie up Red Jacket and Swizzle Sticks. And they're like, we're going to take you and turn you in. But weather's kind of turning. Cell towers are down, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get people away. So they start leading them from the camp. There's a lot of antagonizing. They like tie them to trees and stuff like that. And Zane's ready to fucking kill them. And Deuce at some point and Zane, they're like, yeah, so you're joking about like them shooting you. That was a great distraction. It was a distraction, right? And Ty's like, sure. And no, Ty was actually just losing his shit.
Yeah.
So he was just having, and he's still having flashbacks. So they're trying to get him back. There's a point where there's water gushing down the mountain, and they have to cross it. And so they start, like, Ty's like, I can take the wench from the ATV. They can't get the ATV across because they packed Deuce up on it and supplies from the camp they were at. But there's no way they're getting this ATV across. So they're going to wench it. Ty's like, I'll take the wench and I will tie it to a tree on the other side. So he gets naked. Well, he gets onto, like, you know, as much as he can. And he swims underneath the current. And it is... Ty's like underneath the water the entire time, and he's like, I don't know how long he can hold his breath, and he's not coming up. So Zane basically dives into this cold water, like waist deep, like ready to go take care of him. And Earl Grady brings him back up. He's like, we can't risk that, like, and he's already soaking. But Ty does make it across. They get them all across, all safe. But Earl's kind of like, this man saved my son, and he's like, was about ready to jump into the water for him. And Deuce is noticing this too. He's like, not in love my ass.
Right.
That's what Deuce is like, not in love my ass. So they get across. They do camp for the night. So as they're doing it, they have to get Red Jacket and Sizzle Sticks across. I forget who does first, but one of them, in the middle of getting across, he lets go, hoping that he can escape through the current, but he ends up just getting smashed into a rock, and a tree batters him. He just simply goes down.
All right,
So he's gone. So there's one more left. They do camp for the night. That's right. So there's a moment in the forest where Zane goes to take a smoke. Ty comes up, and they have like this cute, sweet, tender moment. And Ty's like, his first words like he wants to say is like, I love you to him. He's like, I'm not going to, like, I can't do that. Because that's not what Zane wants, and he knows that's not what Zane wants. And so he's really evaluating shit. And they have like this cute, they're like making out in the forest. Zane's like, you need to sleep, like, and he's like, they're getting all hot and heavy, and they do some stuff, and they make a joke about a condom because there's no condom. So they kind of like, without getting into too much detail, they get lost into each other a little bit. And I wish this was on the Smutning if we had that, because there are so many details I would love to give, but it's just a hot moment in the middle of the forest at night.
They go places and do things.
They go places and do things, and it's really hot and heavy and hot. And so they get back to camp, all that. One camp night, one of the like either Swizzle Sticks or Red Jacket, whoever's left, he's like, I need to take a piss. Ty's in thought of like a bunch of stuff, and he doesn't realize he's like 5 minutes out from the camp at that point. So he is gun trained on the shotgun trained on the dude. And he's like, go take a piss. He's like, turn around. Ty's like, I'm not fucking turning around. Take a piss. He's like, what if I go behind the tree? And there's arguing. And then Ty hears something in the background. And he's like, do you hear that? Like, what the fuck's out there? And then a mountain lion comes out of fucking nowhere.
Yikes.
And Ty's like, holy fuck. It is a mountain lion. His thing is like 6 feet long. Like, he knows how they stalk, because when he was in his recon days, he like looked up on how predators like stalk their prey. See how he could learn something. He tells the guy not to run. He runs anyways. Mountain lion fucking kills him.
Yeah.
By the neck. And Ty's like having a moment. He's like, this is different. Like, I freaked the fuck out. And then the mountain lion mauls Ty's hands, because he's trying to, like, he puts the gun between the mountain lion, because he shoots off, but he puts the gun in the, like, mouth of the mountain lion as he attacks him, but he also gets Ty's hand really bad in his shoulder, so his hand's just, like, gushing blood, like, his knuckles are broken or whatever, chipped, possibly fractured. Where I say there's a tooth, because they speculate that what part of the mountain lion's tooth got lost in his knuckle.
Ooh.
So... Zane comes, he literally hears the kerfuffle and darts off into the forest immediately without hesitation to find them, and he gets back to back with Ty, and he's like, there's a fucking mountain lion out here, we gotta go. And he's like, like, it's kind of cute how much Ty is panicking over the mountain lion, because they get back to camp. Zane sits him down. He's literally like holding Ty's face, like, you're good, and all Ty wants to do is be like, I love you type thing. So it's like really cute, but they're freaking out about his hand now. Because they're 4 days from anywhere, and it's like it's gonna get infected and bad.
Yeah, it is.
So they do their best to clean it. He's in pain, like, and they're trying their best to, like, for 2 days they like try to track down this, like, go down this mountain. And Ty's thinking, like, I cannot believe that all the shit that I've been through, that a mountain lion took me out.
Yeah.
And he still makes smart ass comments, and Deuce like is like calls him Meow Mix. He's like, you were literally Meow Mix. You almost became food for a mountain lion. Shut up. Cause yeah, it's great. So that's why, side note, me and my like best friend, her name is Meow Mix in my phone, and I'm Lone Star in her phone.
That's adorable.
Yeah, cause Ty calls calls Garrett Lone Star, and they call him Meow Mix whenever they want to dig into him. So Ty's like, he's feverish at this point. He's not doing well. He's barely standing. He even drops to his knees, and his dad's like, get up, Murray, and keep walking. And it does get him up to an extent, but it only gets him so far. Flash over to the side, Mara Grady wakes up one morning, like a day before she has to go pick them up from their trip. She's like, I do not feel good about this. And so she goes off to the ranger post station with Chester and his shovel. And it's like, I need you to do a search party now. I do not feel good about this. You're like, he's not even a day late, and they're your boys know that mountain better than anybody else, so they're going to be fine. We can't send anybody out until they're like 24 hours after they're technically missing. And she's like, well, you better give me your ammunition and some supplies, because I'm going up there right now, and I don't got time to go back and get Earl's gun.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just... And she's known this ranger since he was a kid, because they were friends with Ty's in high school. So they're like, okay, call the search party. I'm just thinking you're a good boy.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love Mara. So the search is happening now, but then they get to Ty right before, like, he is almost septic.
Yeah.
But he pretty much passes out, and that's just it. And Zane's freaking out, but he gets to the hospital. And he's getting better. He's on antibiotics. Earl knows that he's a shitty person at this point for calling his son a coward, and that he almost lost his son because he's an asshole. But at least he recognizes that, and he does apologize. He tells Burns everything about what happened, and Burns like, holy motherfucking shit. Like, I sent them on vacation to damage them further. And Ty and Zane both agree that they are never allowed to say the word vacation again.
Yeah.
Because it just never works out well for them. And Ty is ordered to be on 3 more weeks of rest, so he is forced to stay at home. He doesn't really want to, but he's like, I'll stay. And
We can say staycation.
yeah, staycation. So yeah, Deuce and I'm gonna say Ty really doesn't want Zane to go back. Like, he loves having him around, really. And he's like, I don't need to go back. Like, I want to go. He kept telling Zane, like, okay, when are we going back? And he's like, I'm going back in your Bronco. You're not. You're flying home. And he's like, no. And he's like, yes. And then, so there's all that. So Zane goes back. Zane passes his evals, barely, but passes them.
Get it.
So they are officially partnered. He gets moved to Baltimore in an apartment. You find out that Burns calls somebody, and he's like, I need you to tell me for real, and should I keep them as partners, or what do you think? And Deuce on the other line is like, I don't feel comfortable talking to you about this, because you also find out that Burns asked Deuce to go join them for the vacation so that he can evaluate if he can consciously put them back in the field. And Deuce is like, I'm going to tell you right now that they are unhinged and they are so dysfunctional. And Burns is like, fuck. But he's like, they can only be each other's partners.
Yeah.
They can only be each other's partners, and that relieves him a bit.
Because they drive anyone else crazy.
Yeah, literally, like, they would have to kill anybody else. And even Ty at the beginning of the book told Burns that if you do anything but put us back into the field, it will kill us both. Mm-hmm. Zane more so. And you also find out throughout this book that Richard Burns puts Ty on secret missions that kind of go, like, it's the type of missions where, like, if he dies on duty, it's he got into a car wreck. Mm-hmm. So he goes on very secret missions, which comes up much later in these book series, but it puts a mental toll on him, but Burns knows he can handle it.
What is he, some kind of Suicide Squad?
Basically, Ty is the Suicide Squad. But, Ty does end up in the office, because he's like, he tells the secretary, put Tyler on the phone. And he's already waiting in the office. She's like, he's here. And he's like, what the fuck? You're not supposed to be here yet. So he brings him in, they talk. He's like, hey, Burns, you told me that you could stop, like, I could stop these missions for 3 reasons. 1, if I got married. 2, if I had a kid. And I did forget the 3rd reason. Sorry, Ty. But there's like, he physically couldn't anymore. He's like, I'm fine on all 3. I'm not married, don't have kids. I'm physically fine. But I do need time away. I cannot take another mission until I figure some stuff out. And that's him being in love with Zane.
Yeah.
So he's like, fine, sure. I'm not going to say no to you now. You just got mauled by a fucking cat and almost died. So
a cat.
Yeah. And then Ty goes to leave. He's like, wait, I forgot to tell him the best part. I'm like, he's like, come back in. Because he's going to tell him that Ty's back, or Zane's okay to go.
Mm-hmm.
So Ty shows up at Zane's new apartment. And Zane, being a book boy, all he owns is like books.
Yeah.
So I love that. And he even like has a moment where he puts like Edgar Allan Poe on like the thing, and he has like a fond memory of, not fond, it's not fond,
right?
But he has a memory of like their first case together, and they like him and Ty have talked a little bit on the phone since they had parted, but there's a knock at Zane's door. Zane's like, it's like midday, I'm not gonna grab my gun, even though he feels like he should grab his gun, but then Ty's there, and
I'm definitely grabbing my gun,
right? And so Ty's like very serious, like, we need to have a talk, and Zane's like, oh god. So they go out to his like back porch in his apartment, and they kind of sit down next to each other. Zane's like, I'm gonna grab a smoke for this, and Ty's like having a hard time like even discussing this, and he's like, I like you a lot, I want to be with you, and if that's not something you want, there's no I love you in it, but he's like, I just want to be with you, I want to be this would be a real thing now that we can be, now that you're in Baltimore, like let's make this a frequent thing. And
Baltimore. Baltimore.
Baltimore. I love that. So he's like, I know it's not something you probably want to hear, but I want this to be more. And he goes to walk away because he's like thinking Zane's not taking it well. And Zane stops him. He's like, yeah, I would like that a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's the start of their relationship.
Love that.
Yeah. And that's how the book kind of ends. So like they're like, it's kind of open, and it's like, yeah, we're going to become a real thing. And they're going to start their first case like within a week or 2. They're going to be put back out in the field, and so that's how that ends. A lovely side note is so Tyler's first name is Beaumont.
Okay.
Beaumont Tyler Grady.
I was
he
thinking
hates it.
I was thinking Beau for sure.
Yeah, Beau for sure.
And then I was like, maybe Buford. Like, I know that's kind of like a. Like, I would definitely be embarrassed by that if that was my
he
name.
hates Beaumont because there's a moment in the woods where Deuce gets pissed off at him. He's like, Beaumont. And so it'll come a bunch later. So, yeah, there's that. So, and then the another side note is there is a point where Deuce and them are talking about, like, you know, Ty and Zane's relationship and how they're like, let's not. Like, there's a point where Deuce gets so pissed because Ty's having a bad time with the whole bite and everything, and Zane can't even be like, there's a lot of like words of like Zane lingers his fingers across his neck as he parts from him, and Deuce is like, I'm so mad that they can't be like affectionate and open in front of our father because like his brother's dying, and like he wants them to be able to show who they really are, like, and really care for each other.
I'm shipping them so hard.
Yes, no, that's Deuce. I love Deuce. I wish Deuce had his own book. I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Also, side note, one of the spinoff books, because there's going to be 2 spinoff books I'll have to read in between, I think 3 and 4, or 4 and 5. And they do mention, I think, Nick O'Flaherty, probably got the name wrong, but he is a recon buddy of Ty's, and he will be a point later.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the second book of Cut and Run. I did not do it justice, so please read it. If you haven't read it, they're so good. The books that are out now, it is heavily stated that she's reworking them right now. So they're going to change. And everything I've spoken about will be dated. And I'm so excited. I'm going to be by them when we read them again. And I'm so excited.
One Truth and Two Lies.
One Truth and Two Lies by the author herself.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's how'd you guys feel about my boys?
I liked it.
It's a really good book. The second one.
Yeah.
The whole family is great.
I love it.
Fucking Mara Grady.
We love a little country moment.
Mm-hmm. I love the Grady's so much, and because there's a bunch of like that's not the right word, but there's a bunch of discussion where it seems like comparing Grady's family to his family, and you can tell Zane's family is not loving. And there's a lot of tension that he mentions that he's the odd one out.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to. I will not tell you guys any more about that, but his book is interesting. And Ty is just like, when he gets text, he's like, "You didn't fucking tell me," and I cannot wait. That's all I remember.
I love it.
But yeah, let's cut and run.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Time to go drink and get our pride on.
Yeah, we're gonna head out to Pride.
mhm.
Hope everyone is having a safe and happy season.
A wild season,
Yeah,
fun.
but also safe.
But safe, very safe.
Down safely.
Safely. Mostly protectively.
There you go.
Show them your pin. I forgot to enter what that.
I'm not gonna. It
Read
involves
it.
me getting leaving the microphone and stuff.
We'll suck dick for unlimited breadsticks.
Also, good boy.
He's a good breadstick boy.
I just love a shirt.
I know.
Wait until they get the hat. When they go to Texas, I think they go get cowboy hats. Nice. Send us out, Nick.
You ain't gotta tell me I'm the movie maker, so listen like a listener. 'Cause baby, I'm a yapper. Each one comes out weekly. 'Cause baby, I deliver. X is still called Twitter. I get the sewed done. I get the sewed done.
Let's go.
Woo!
Yeehaw.
Roll on, Chapel.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.